This is an interesting question, that what is marketing? And to especially to a marketing student, marketing specialization student, this question is surprise also. But you can't avoid this question in interviews, or maybe when people want to know something about the topic, concept. And when people ask this question in final interviews, this becomes another big problem for the students. The question arises why this question was asked. Though this is the basic, the fundamental, people know about it. And here I can ask this question. I can understand that this question is not asked at whether you understand marketing or not, whether you have read about it or not, whether you internalize the things or not. But probably this question is asked because people want to know the diversity, the distinction, the philosophical discourse, the possible angles, what they have explored in their life in marketing has been touched or not. That means marketing is an experience, and marketing has moved from one step to another step with a lot of sufficiency, efficiency, and every time it has surprised people, because people understand marketing when they are more surprised than they might have been. So gradually, if you understand this concept, I want to elaborate in that way. From 1900 to 1970s, or I can talk about 1960s. Let me talk, that is pre-consumerism era. Because if you look at consumerism, Peter Drucker has said in a different way. For him, consumerism is the same to marketing. And that particular sentence you can understand to realize the importance of marketing in present context. And probably the realization of this concept in any format, any forum, in any possible position is relating to that same. Why that same word is used, and what was that same, and what the human beings, the management thought process has done to erode that word same, delete that word same, and what has represented that word to somehow given some kind of consolation to the thought process of marketing. We realize that if you read the book of marketing, history of marketing thought by Jock Hernans, he has given that clear-cut distinction that marketing thought has progressed from the narrow concept to the broader, from the addition action to the service put, from the self-integrate to the social consideration, and from economic to social determinism, from action to interaction, from the provincial to the global. But I'm more interested in that particular sentence where he has emphasized this economic to social determinism. This economic to social determinism is the most important word we should highlight, because he has emphasized that marketing is not an economic process, it is also the social process. So when we started discussing about the social word in marketing, the entire understanding of marketing changed. So whatever may be the definition of marketing, let me give you one definition which I always put in the class, that marketing is an organizational or management function of conception, pricing, promotion, distribution of ideas, services, goods to create or generate values which satisfy individual, organization and social well-being or objective. The concepts are not so very clear here. When I add the word social, that makes the whole process more complicated. So, if people ask that whether it is the art or science, when I put my social word there, it makes the whole system more complicated, more dynamic. So marketing is a very dynamic subject. Marketing is the ever dynamic subject we find in management. And it is the object which ensures that dynamism should come with the interaction with customers. So the moment marketing got the customer's angle, marketing became more interactive, more relationship oriented. So if you look at Zuckerman and Gasly's 1991 working, they have emphasized that the response to this concept of marketing is a mostly looks the customer need, and it is now been investigated in that sense, the customer need. So obviously marketing concept keeps the customer in center. So when you put your customer in center and you try to formulate strategies according to that, then your whole system goes towards marketing. So I'm not using another word here which many people thought about or which substituted marketing pre-1960 or pre-consumerism era. That was all about transactional form to a relationship form, or mostly marketing has moved from that transactional form to a more relationship form. And the relationship form is more about action, and the relationship form is more about value. The relationship form is more about social well-being, or adding some another aspects, or adding the societal aspect more in that aspect. So if you look, marketing is a managerial process of planning and execution of conception, pricing, promotion, distribution of ideas, goods and services to generate exchange that satisfy individual, organization and social objective. That social objective was added post consumerism era to give some kind of assurance to this subject. Otherwise, with the transactional era, marketing had lost its charm. It has lost its charismatic power to rule the corporates. So with the power to consumers, the consumerism era defined a new phase in marketing. So that power to consumers, when the consumerism era gave to consumers, that probably gave marketing more destabilized as a concept. Probably when you look at the societal marketing concept, which also talked in that line, and when you go to holistic marketing concept, you will find that relationship marketing has come into picture and social marketing has come into picture. So when we look at marketing as a concept, when people ask about marketing as a concept, probably they ask the soft side of marketing, of societal marketing or relationship marketing. Understanding the concept in that line, where you put the consumer in center, not exactly the consumer is a short-term consumer value, but put the consumer is a long-term perspective, giving emphasis to social well-being, ensuring a philosophical blend of mind or thought process that leads to overall satisfaction of society. So that's why when I read about the provincial to global has made the marketing concept more complicated, and more complicated can be understood when we look at the MNCs and the way they practice marketing today. Let's talk about Google, what they practice. They are talking about the most powerful search engine they have created for customers, for the customers required today or not, but they have given the product which is powerful enough and which can give you all kind of solutions. When you look at IKEA, when you talk about the furniture company, what they provide, what the value they provide to the customer, they provide you the cheapest furniture. Look at the Starbucks, what they provide to you, they provide you experience. That probably Starbucks is the classic example of a transactional form of marketing to experiential form of marketing. Here we're not looking at the relationship, but we're looking at the experiential form of marketing, where the customer's experience is more important, and the customer experience can only be doubled when the value concept will come into picture. So this presentation, I want to tell that when the question of what is marketing comes to you in any form or any format or any forum, be very brave enough to elaborate this on two aspects. One is the societal aspect or social aspect, and one is relationship aspect. Do highlight about consumerism, do highlight about the managerial aspect, what are the functions of marketing, to talk in that line. Have a classic example, take the advantage of American Marketing Association's definition, try to convince. Otherwise, you have the world with your experience. Try to inculcate that marketing is a philosophy. And with all form, the center of the philosophy is always consumer. The center of the philosophy is very broad. The center of the philosophy is very complicated, but it has only one objective, providing value